Today's topic is bank reconciliation statement. The bank reconciliation statement is prepared to find the reasons for and the differences between the cash book that is prepared by the business and the bank statement that is prepared by the bank. By preparing a bank reconciliation statement, errors will be identified either in the cash book or in the bank statement. Alright. So you have been given the information in relation to the bank statement that is posted in the Google Classroom. So now we'll be going through a demonstration as how we go about preparing the revised or updated cash book along with the bank reconciliation statement. Step 1. We need to highlight the differences or the similarities between the two statements, between the cash book and the bank statement. So what I am going to do firstly is that I am going to tick those items that are similar to both statements. That is, those items that can be found in the bank statement and they can also be found in the cash book. We are checking the debit column of the cash book against the credit column of the bank statement. The credit side of the cash book being checked against the debit column of the bank statement. So here we go. So the first noticeable amount we have is 101 debit side of the cash book, credit column bank statement. 44 credit column bank statement. It is also found on the debit side of the cash book. Do we have a 319 in the credit column? No. Do we have a 246 in the credit column of the bank statement? No. Do we have a 93 on the debit side of the cash book? No, we don't. Now we're going to check the credit side of the cash book against the debit side of the bank statement. Do we have a 462? Yes, we do. Do we have a 21? Yes, we do. Do we have a 209? No, we don't. Do we have a 47? No, we don't. So we are going to begin. So we now identify the items that are common to both statements, and it basically would have shone light on the items that are not common to both statements, which is 319, 246, 209, in the bank statement 47 and 93. If you realize we're not looking at the balancing column, and when we were doing the ticking off, we ignored our balance carried down and our balance brought down. Now we're going to use this information to go ahead and prepare our revised cash book, or our updated cash book as it can also be called. So here for second step, we're adding the information that was in the bank statement, but we did not find it in the cash book. So we're updating the cash book with those information that we found in the bank statement that we did not tick because it was not common to both statements. We're now updating the cash book by putting those information in the cash book. The first thing we need to do is that we need to record the balance that we had for our original cash book, and we're talking about the balance brought down for the year. So here we have a balance carried down of 3,437. Now we know that if we have a balance carried down, we are going to have a balance brought down. So our balance carried down here is on the credit side. That means that our balance brought down will be on our debit side, right? And it will be the same amount as our balance carried on. So we're going to go ahead and record that information. December 31st. $3,437. So we record the information for our balance brought down, which would have been the same as our balance carried down seen here for the end of the period. So our balance carried down is on the credit, the brought down would be on the debit. So now we're going to add the information that should go in the cash book that was not in it in the first place. So we are going to find this information in our bank statement. Now I'm just going to go ahead and enter the information as they appear. So the first one I see, December 31st, credit transfer T Morris, 93. Now this 93 is in the credit column in the bank statement. This then means that I am going to make a debit entry in my updated cash book. Now I'm going to enter my amount, $93. Alright, now next item, it says bank charges 47. Now this bank charges can be found in the debit column of the bank statement, and therefore when I go to my updated cash book, I am going to place this information on the opposite side, which would be the credit side. So because it is found in the debit column, I'm going to enter it in the updated cash book on the credit side. $47. Now we have entered all of the information that was in the bank statement that we did not find in our original cash book. So now the next thing to do is to balance off the statements. So to balance off, we find the side that has the bigger total. It seems to be the debit side, so that is 3,437 plus 93. That would give you 3,530. Now the credit side only has 47, so we're going to find the balance carried down. We subtract the smaller total from the larger total, which is 47 from 3,530 to give us our balance carried on. Alright, that will give us $3,483. Now when we add this, it should give us back 3,530. Have a balance carried down, we must have a balance brought down, and we're also going to add our double lines. Alright, so we're now going to go ahead and enter our balance brought down, which is the same as our balance carried down. That is $3,483. So that is our revised cash book. Now we're going to go ahead and complete our third step, which is to do our bank reconciliation statement. To prepare the bank reconciliation statement, we basically make adjustments for the information that was in the cash book, but it was not in our bank statement. So the items that were in the cash book and not in our bank statement were the items that we did not take, which is 319, 246, 209. Now, we enter the information in our bank reconciliation statement. We can start with our balance as per cash book, which is the balance brought down or carried down amount that we got at the completion of our revised cash book. Now there are two items that can be found in our bank reconciliation statement. We can have unpresented checks and we can have late lodgements or unrecorded deposits. Now, our late lodgements would be found on the debit side of the original cash book, and the unpresented checks would be found on the credit side. Unpresented checks are checks that we paid out to individuals. It could be to suppliers or a worker, and they have not yet presented it to the bank for payment, and therefore that is why we find it on the credit side, because it's a payment that we actually made. Late lodgements would represent amounts of money that we got, but for whatever reason, maybe it could be the date that we lodged the check, it's not appearing on our bank statement as yet. Now we're going to start off. There are two ways of preparing the bank reconciliation statement. We have one format where we can start with the balance as per cash book. We also have another format where we can start with the balance as per bank statement, and I will be showing you both methods today. Now, the first one we're going to start off with is the format starting with the balance as per cash book. Now this balance would be the balance brought down that you got from preparing the revised cash book or the updated cash book. So that figure would be $3,483. Now the unpresented checks, as I said, can be found on the credit side because it is checks that we paid out to suppliers or other individuals. So this amount would be 209 from earned. From T earned, sorry. Alright, and this amount is 209. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to add and that should give us $3,692. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter my late lodgement, which would be found on the debit side, and we did not tick them, so it is W, sorry, and this one. I'm going to enter my figures here because we're going to total the figures and bring them across. 240. Alright, so 319 plus 246, that will give you 565, right? And it says less, so we're supposed to subtract the late lodgements, right? 565 from 3,692 will give you 3,127. As you can see, if you check back to your bank statement, the final balance signifies the bank statement balance. And when we did our bank reconciliation statement, we got back the same figure. That would suggest that we have now reconciled our cash book with our bank reconciliation statement because we got back the same figure. So we prepared the bank reconciliation statement starting with the balance as per cash book. Now we're just going to use another format where we're going to prepare the bank reconciliation statement, and we're going to now start off with the balance as per cash book. You will recognize that in this format, instead of adding unpresented checks, we are now subtracting them, and instead of subtracting late lodgements, we are now adding late lodgements when we start off with our balance as per bank statement. So our balance as per bank statement is the last figure in the balance column in our bank statement. So this is the 3,127. 3,127, and it says less unpresented checks, so that is 209 for unpresented checks. So we're going to subtract 209 from 3,127. That is going to leave us with 2,918. 2,918. Alright, then after that we are going to add our 2 late lodgements. This would have given us 565. Right. So we subtracted our unpresented checks, or it says add late lodgement. So it is 565 plus 2,918. That will give us 3,483. So that is our balance as per cash book. A question will either tell you to start with the balance as per cash book, or it will indicate that you're supposed to start with the balance as per a bank statement. So that is how you go about preparing an updated cash book and a bank reconciliation statement.